Hello, hello. Welcome back to Finding Spirit with Tabs. I'm your host, Tabs McCaffrey, and I'm a psychic medium here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. On this show, I share my own personal experience as I grow and develop my psychic mediumship abilities, diving into Akashic records, connecting with spirit guides, and truly everything and anything in between spiritually related. I like to think of myself as a grounded and practical medium, and I'm going to show through these episodes how you can have a grounded and a practical approach to your spirituality. All right, let's jump into today's episode. It's been a hot minute. I know, I'm sorry. Things have been a little bit hectic in our lives, so I had to step away, really just take care of things happening. Just as a quick life update, we listed and sold our house since the last episode I put out. So that also can probably explain the busyness, getting our show home ready and going through the listing process and all that stuff. But yes, we were able to sell our home. We do have a tentative plan right now. We're not leaving Saskatoon at this point. We're going to be moving into a condo and we're kind of lining all our ducks up. So we do have to move out in August. I think it's like middle of August. Yeah, lots going on, lots going on. So I'm going to do my best to put out episodes when I can. And I'm hoping things really start to line up better for me and open up more space in my life. And I'm sure you can all relate to this. We only have so many hours in the day. We only have so many days in the week. I am very committed to my family time and my off time where I just, enjoy life, do things on the weekends, go golfing, go to the lake, things like that. And I try and make sure that my business stuff is falling within business hours so that I'm not working all the time. I really am about life-work balance. It's very important to me, and I'm sure you guys completely understand in that sense. So I do feel like we are in between timelines right now. I think our family is going through a big transition period. There's a lot of things happening. I am really hoping that I can open up about some of this stuff in the upcoming months, but the timing just isn't quite right to share it in a public forum. But yeah, I will open up in when the time is right and kind of share, and I know you'll be able to kind of piece some puzzle pieces together there as well. So that's kind of what's been going on, and that's just like probably the skim of what's going on. There's like so many moving parts in our lives right now. And I think we can all relate to that. I think a lot of people are experiencing the same things right now. Every client I talk to is going through these crazy transition periods. I think it has to do a little bit with shaman resonance. I think it has to do with the year 2025. I think there's some astrology tied into it as well as seasonality. If you're feeling the same way as I am right now, like life has just been lifing, please know you're not alone. We're all going through the same things, maybe just at different rates and in different types of episodes, but I feel like everyone's timelines are going through deep transitions right now. Okay, today's episode is going to be part one of a three-part series, and this is going to be sharing my recent past life regressions through a QHHT session. And there's a lot of parts to it, and you're going to understand once we get through all three episodes why I had to break this up, because it really is just a lot to digest, and I want to be able to properly look at all of the aspects of this day from a further back viewpoint where we can really kind of analyze and look at things, connect dots, because this was life-changing for me. Like, I'm not even being dramatic when I say this has been life-changing for me, this session. And yeah, I'll share a little bit more at the end of the episode, but let's just get into it. First off, before we go, I want to do just a quick Finding Spirit headquarters update. We have a couple things coming up. It's going to be really short. So Mediumship 101 class, the third class is running tomorrow. Registration is now closed. If you're wanting to get in on this, I have July's class up and live on my website right now. I'll have a link down below for everything. So you can just head into the show notes. We also have mediumship practice circles continuing. I was going to pause them for the summer, but you know what? It's one evening a month. I think there's so much value in it. I really look forward to seeing everyone and doing the practice and then having the open discussion with like-minded people after. We do have another practice circle scheduled for July 10th. If you have been attending them previously, go check it out. If you're curious, but you have zero mediumship experience, I'm going to recommend you take the Mediumship 101 class first. It will set you up for success to come into the practice circles. And then lastly, the Connect with Your Spirit Guides class, I'm going to run it again on July 11th. It was such a hit. Everyone made connections. Everyone got deep knowledge from the second technique I taught. So I have like a 2-technique teaching method. And the first one has a couple steps that steps or like levels, depending if everyone can get the first one, let's move on to the next, let's move on to the next. And then the second technique I show gets you those deeper answers and guidance that you're wanting from your spirit guides. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, you've been wanting to develop a relationship with your spirit guides and really tune into the information that's coming through, I'm going to recommend that class, and it is an hour and a half long. And then lastly, if you're wanting to book a one-on-one session with me, I have mediumship, Akashic records, spirit guide sessions, and spiritual mentorship, which is really just open to whatever you need. I meet you where you are in the moment, exactly where you are in your development or your awakening, and help you piece things together and build a plan for you to move forward with. All the info for these are down below in the show notes, and that's going to take you to my website. Okay, let's jump into this. I am so excited to share this. I needed some time to process it, so I'm happy I did, because I was like on cloud 9 right after the session, and I've been able to kind of ground myself a little bit more now and really look at this from that stand back viewpoint and really start to look at all the puzzle pieces that fell into place there. What we're going to do, 3-part series, as I said, and I had a QHHT session. So that is Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. If you aren't familiar with that, this is a method developed by Dolores Cannon that connects you with your higher self through deep hypnosis. It often includes past life experiences, soul purpose, deep healing, karmic patterns, soul contracts. Like, there is so much. It's actually, I think, the puzzle piece I've been looking for within my spiritual practice. And then I'm also going to share in today's episode what led me to this session, the subtle nudges from spirit, how everything lined up, and even the nudges from the morning of the booking. Leading up to the session, why I felt called to book a session. Dolores Cannon was one of the first people that I came across in the beginning of my journey. I've consumed so many hours of her content on YouTube, online. I think her videos really helped me piece together my reality, even if some of the pieces felt a little bit too far out of touch for me or a little too woo. It really was just where I was on the journey. So trust me, at the beginning, as you start to consume some of this information and piece these puzzle pieces together, there are going to be things that seem far out, that seem a little bit too woo, that may not feel like they fit in your reality yet. And that's totally normal. Trust me when I say this. They will fit in at one point. I was the person who was like, I don't think that's for me. I don't think that's going to apply. I don't know where that fits in. And here I am 2 years later, and I'm like, check, check, check. That fits there. This is where this goes. And it all makes sense to me. So it's kind of like peeling away the layers on an onion. And I believe that those layers are peeled back at the rate that we are able to process, digest, and integrate the information. And some people do it really quickly, and some people not so much. I'm on, coming on to year 2 of this spiritual journey. It truly took me until maybe a few months ago to be ready for everything that was going to come through this past life regression and through this higher self connection, and really helped me kind of understand that all timelines are happening as they're supposed to. Even though we want to speed things up, there's certain things that need to happen in a certain order at a certain time to lead you to the moment where more things happen. It's just it's this little breadcrumb path that we have to keep following, and just trusting that we are right where we're supposed to be and things are happening at the rate that they are meant to happen. Okay, now leading up to this session, I was on a bit of a healing journey. I'm not going to lie. I have been to 2 sound baths in the last couple months, and I've had such profound healing and releases at each of them. I'm going to do an episode on vibration and sound healing coming up because it's, again, some puzzle pieces have been fitting together for me, and it's been a puzzle piece that I've been avoiding for 2 years, but definitely need to keep bringing back into my life. And I'm going to give you a little piece of advice. If you haven't been to a sound bath, find someone that does them locally. Go attend your first ones. Stop putting it off. Just go do it. I feel like it will help you on your journey. And this is meant for whoever it's meant to hear this. Okay. I have personally been really slow at seeking out other healers, and I've chosen to do a lot of the work myself along this journey. I've heard a lot of information through mediumship readings in practice type settings that I felt content with certain parts of my journey, and then other parts I've just been exploring and healing myself. But lately, I've been feeling the need, especially since that Banff wellness retreat. I've been feeling that need to reach out more to different people and kind of find healings that align with me where I am on my journey and what feels aligned energetically. I'm very, very selective of who I allow into my energy. Like, I just want to preface with that. I am so selective. I'm very cautious. I protect my peace and my energy, and also just really guarding. And maybe that's a bad thing. Like, maybe that's a wound or something I also need to heal. We can deal with that another day. Okay. We're just going to keep moving on. Even as I say it, I'm like, maybe there's a reason. Regardless, that is who I am. So I knew about QHHT. It was on my radar. I wanted to book a session for myself. Remember, guys, I am a left brain Virgo. I need proof of everything. I consider myself very grounded, very practical. So before I jump into something, I actually need to see some proof within my life. I was very interested in the QHHT course. I do know there's a big time commitment related to it, and I kept thinking, when I have more time, I'll do it. Okay, after this, I'll do it. But it has been on my radar for over a year. Okay, now let's bring it back to present moment. Just over a month ago, I had 2 clients that were back to back talking about QHHT and past life regressions. The first one, had just recently had one. She was sharing her experience. It was so amazing, very impactful for her, and I really related to her experience. So that kind of created this little bit of a feeling and emotion inside me where I was like, okay, I really need to look back into that. There's a reason why she's telling me this. And then I cannot make this up. The next client I have flat out asks me at the end of the session, have you ever considered doing past life regressions or taking the QHHT course? And of course, we have a whole discussion around it. I'm like, yeah, it's been on my radar. It's funny you mentioned that. I just had a client that had a past life regression. And I was just like, when you're like, doop, doop, and you're kind of grabbing the puzzle pieces and you're like sliding. I feel like it's like that. What's that movie with Robert Downey Jr. and he's like sliding everything in the air and making everything move? Iron Man. That's how I felt. I felt like I was in Iron Man, just kind of sliding the pieces together. It literally hit me on the side of the head. Okay, I'm being guided. There's a reason this is happening. Literally 2 nudges in a row. I don't sit on guidance from spirit either. Okay. So when things come through like that, when it's like bang, bang, and it's 2 strong pings, nudges, guidance that come through in my life that usually are not part of my normal reality, those are my hints. Those are my spirit guides talking to me. That is spirit sending me messages. I took the hint, found a local practitioner, and booked a session. And the funny thing is, I've been following this person, she's a local one, for quite a while, probably since the beginning of my journey. I know a couple people now that I've talked to in the DMs that are local, but I just like to follow, support local people. So I feel like when I found her Instagram prior, it was really just the seed being planted. It was that first seed. So I've been able to watch her content over the last probably almost 2 years and build that trust, which my team knows I need to trust someone before I take a jump on it. I ended up booking her earliest session. Now I want to share my reasons of why I wanted one of these sessions. I have had a very deep knowing that Jeff, my husband, that we have shared many lives together. I had a vision a few months ago, and it was a past life. Both of us were in the Roman times, and it was very interesting. It didn't last for very long, but it was that knowing that came through, and it was a vision. So through that, I was like, so we're going back far. We're going back far. Okay, fair enough. I've had this deep connection to him being in my soul family. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. I recommend you check it out. But basically, this is a group of souls that you reincarnate with throughout your lifetimes. And I have a sense of which people in my life are who I suspect to be part of my soul family. I feel like I've known them for other lifetimes, Jeff being one of them. My kids actually come up, so we're going to talk about that in one of the later episodes. I think in the third episode that will come up. It's very interesting. So anyways, I've had this thought, this reoccurring pattern within my mind where it's like, I really want to dive into some of these past lives. I really want to see what kind of past lives we've had together. And that was really why I booked the session. I just wanted to go into a bunch of past lives and see who Jeff and I were and what our lives were. I consider our current life to be quite a crazy one. It's been very busy, lots of events happening. It's been a lot, but I feel like it's not our first rodeo. If that makes sense. Like, honestly, when problems arise, our ability to handle them, deal with them, move through them, and reflect back is sometimes sometimes I think is it feels unusual to other people. Like when I talk about things that we've taken on or things that we're handling, I don't even realize how unusual it is for our approach to things. But I'm going to say it's just not our first rodeo. This isn't our first time doing this. And that's why it looks like we approach everything with such ease. It's like a habit. It's like a part of us that just knows what to do. I don't know how to explain this, so I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to articulate here. When I booked, I really didn't have any questions. I did take a look at her recommendations, and surprise, surprise, I came up with 20 questions. Like, where did these all come from? I prioritized them in order as well, and I did tell her that she could pick the ones that she felt were of importance. There were a couple ones that I was like, I really want to know about this stuff. But as far as the other things, pick and choose what you think fits and feels right during the session. And I'm okay handing that over to people and letting them use their intuition and trusting them as a practitioner once I've booked and I'm in the session with them. Let's go over a few more things prior to the session. I want to talk about what I knew about QHHT because I actually did not know very much. I think I followed a ton of Dolores Cannon's teachings, but I didn't fully understand what a QHHT appointment was. I just thought it was like, oh, we're going to dive into past lives. We're just going to watch movies of past lives, which I was totally down for, but I did not understand the part that was connecting to your higher self. And I think even going into the session, I still didn't piece that puzzle piece together. It was like literally during the hypnosis where things started to click and yeah, I felt like I was an observer just watching the whole thing happen, and my mouth is moving without me having control of it. So crazy. Coming in, I actually didn't know very much about these sessions. I didn't have any fears. I didn't have any resistances going in. I was quite open to the experience that was meant to come through. And fun fact about me, I actually love change. I actually love new things. Like, it's exciting for me. It's very odd sometimes. I always have this like childlike bewilderment whenever we're going into new adventures or big life changes, things that would probably shake other people. I'm always like, ooh, how's this going to play out? What's next? It's like, I don't know. It's just how I've viewed my entire life. It's always like, ooh, what's this next adventure? I'm always ready for the next adventure. I like to think of my soul as like a gypsy soul. And I think Jeff and I live lives like that. Like we definitely move around. And again, these types of puzzle pieces are going to make sense throughout the session that you're going to listen to. Now, for preparing, I'm going to share what I did. And then at the end of the series, I'm going to share what you should do, because what I did is maybe not what everyone else should do. I did not prepare at all. I just kind of did the questions, printed them off, and that was it. And I was just showing up. I I don't know. I don't know why I do things the way I do sometimes. I just trust everything's meant to happen how it's supposed to happen. But yeah, looking back, was not prepared for what could have happened or how it played out, I guess. But yeah, maybe it is the right way. Maybe you should just approach it like I did. Okay, funny story. I want to share this. The day of my appointment, I had some nudges and messages that have been coming through really clear and really strong lately. And I think it has to do with really starting to listen to them, taking action on them, acknowledging them. The more you take action on those nudges and guidances that you're receiving, the stronger they become. It's almost like tuning into a radio station. And you know, when you're just a little bit off and you're getting static and you can't quite get it, but when you hit the station, everything is loud and clear. I think it's the same way when you're dealing with your spirit guides or spirit and they're sending you guidance. When you are listening, when you're tuned in, when you're taking action, everything just seems so clear. When you don't follow those gut feelings, when you don't listen to those nudges, when you don't act on those little pings that you get, you almost pause your timeline or redirect it for the time being. And it's actually easier for you just to keep moving forward and trusting everything that's coming through. But I'm actually going to do an episode coming up on that as well for a Mindset Monday, because I think it's important that I share some information about that. I think it's meant for people that need to hear it. But yeah, okay. Now, the night before the session, I searched her address and it was quite rural. I mapped it out. It said it would take an hour and 12 minutes to get there. I was like, that's strange. I swear on her website, it said 40 minutes, which whatever, fair enough. To be honest, if I would have read it was over an hour away, I probably wouldn't have booked the session because I'm like that. I'm not trying to travel over 2 hours in a day for a session, especially with how busy you guys have heard now that my life has been lately. I set my alarm cord accordingly and printed off my questions. And in the morning when I woke up, had a bite to eat and I needed to get there for 9 a.m. So I decided to give myself an hour and a half. Okay. I was like, if it takes me an hour and 12, that gives me 20 minutes there. I can kind of just chill in my car. There's no rush, right? Because it's at her house. So she says, like, don't come in till I come and get you, whatever. Fair enough. I was just like, I'm just going to chill in my car. As I'm leaving, I get a little bit of a ping that I should check the confirmation email. I think there were coordinates there, but in my mind, I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll just use Google Maps. Now, who here has been a victim of Google Maps before? Raise your hand. Yeah, give me a like. Show me that, yes, exactly. I know, we all have. I'm on my way. I shit you not. At least 2 more pings come through telling me to pull up the coordinates. Nope. I'm giving full trust to Google Maps. They've done me dirty so many times, but you know what? This time's going to be different. I'm trusting them. It's going to be okay. Now, I end up on a gravel road for 10 kilometers, about 4 miles. Then I turn down a goat trail road with grass down the middle that's like dragging on my little SUV. I go down this probably for, I think, like another 3 kilometers, 2 miles. Keep in mind, I'm totally ignoring any gut instincts and probably even common sense at this point, truly. Just ignoring my common sense. So I follow the map and I reach the destination. There is nothing around where I am. Nothing. This is not where the house is. I pull up the email, copy the coordinates, put it into Google Maps, and I am still 20 minutes away and I'm literally in the opposite direction and I have to follow the exact same route I took to get there, to get out and then make my way to her house. It's a whole ordeal. So good news, I make it there exactly at 9 a.m. It was 20 minutes away, like I said, from where I was. I really had to laugh at this. Like, probably any other time I would be maybe frustrated with myself, a little bit angry, but that day I really just had to laugh at myself. My team knew that I wasn't going to listen that day. They gave me nudges. They tried to do everything. And they're like, well, she's not going to do this, so we better send her early. That was the nudge that I did listen to, that I should leave an hour and a half early. Like, who does that? Hour and a half early? Me. I drove an extra 40 minutes that day. And I want to say I really learned a lesson. I truly did. I'm going to stop ignoring the pings. That was the lesson. Stop ignoring the nudges. Listen to your gut feelings. They are there for a reason. This was the lesson before the lessons, before the lessons in my session. I feel like this lesson was meant to prime me for the big ass pills that I was about to swallow in this QHHT session. So I'm going to set the stage with that. Funny how spirit just keeps showing up and teaching you things and really opening yourself up to acknowledge them. Next episode, we're going to dive into the past life regression part. I don't know what to say, guys, besides that you are going to be completely blown away and probably shocked. This is the audio recording, so I am going to have to trim it up. There was some music playing in the background, which I do not have permission to share. I am going to have to trim it up to try and avoid any strikes against my episode, but I am so excited to share this with you guys. Part 2 is going to be the past life regression, and then part 3 is going to be the higher self portion. Both episodes need to be their own, like each part needs to be their own episode, because there's going to be some things to unpack and that I want to explain from each one. But I promise you're not going to be disappointed, and I want to thank you ahead of time for tuning into this and for following along with this series, because I feel like this is really meant for the collective, and it's going to help everyone piece some puzzle pieces together within their own lives and maybe just start some journeys for each of you as well. So, spoiler alert, I have completed the Dolores Cannon QHHT course, and I'm currently working through my practice sessions for my certification in level 1. This session was validation. So this QHHT session that I received was the validation and confirmation that I'm on the right path and that I was intended to do this. So everything is just really falling into place right now. And you know, at the beginning, how I said, I feel like I'm in a big transition time. There's a lot of timelines that are trying to align right now. I think that I know that there's some timeline stuff that's going to really start changing. So I'm just excited to share this with you guys. I'm so excited to have you with me on this journey in finding spirit and listening to spirit within our lives. Thank you so much. Thank you for being patient. I promise you will not be disappointed. And yeah, if you don't already follow my channel, please do so now. Follow, subscribe, depending which platform you're listening to this on. Also, I would love a like. It just helps push these episodes out into the ether. And if you want to drop a comment below, I always love hearing from you guys and reply to every single one. So, all right, I'm going to head out of here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for walking this path with me, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.